Everyone, I'm Allie. Join me as I show you how to do this Motif bracelet. The Motif bracelet is a repeated pattern, simple to do, only requiring seed beads that you can change to make exactly the way that you want it. Remember, if you need any supplies, a working surface, or want to check out our kits, go ahead and look below the video in the description. That'll get you back to our website, which lists exactly the materials that I used in this project. Gather them all up and let's get started. So to begin the motif pattern, we are doing just a repeated pattern over and over again. There's a couple different ways that you can do the bracelet. One is by creating your ladder stitch band and then expanding and doing your units coming out of that. The other way is to go in and to just build on and create that motif over and over again. That's the way that I'm going to be teaching you, so you can be more intentional with your pattern in case you want to change it up and have different colors. To begin with, I have 3 different colors of 8/0 seed beads and matching 3 colors of 11/0 seed beads. I also have some 2mm bicones here that go along with the color palette. Here in the design, I had 8s in gold and silver, 11s in gold and silver, and a 2mm crystal in the crystal color. We're going to begin with a stop bead on the end of our thread. I'm using green dragon thread, so it's a little bit easier for you to see. You will see a tiny bit of thread along the ladder stitch. So if I were doing this at home, I'd use white, but so you can see it a little bit easier using green. I'm going to begin with ladder stitch and keep building on to this motif. It's very simple. Leave enough thread at the end to go in and put this really pretty Claspgarten clasp that I'll be adding to it. From here, we're going to do a ladder stitch that is 3 beads wide. I'm going to start out with my darkest color and do 3 beads, dropping them down to a stop bead that I put at the end of the thread. How much thread? A lot. I'm going to do about 5 feet of thread for this project. I'm going with my next color, going into the bottom of those 3 beads, adding 3 new beads, coming out the top, and then ladder stitch is going to be going back down and coming out through the 3 beads that you just added. Once you have the darker color, that lighter silver lined blue, then I'm going to go with my silver color. Coming out of the bottom of the row previous that I just completed, I'm going to add the 3 beads and go into the top. From here, go back through the 3 that you just added. And now we're going to reverse the order. So now we're going in and we're saying 1, 2, and 3 of the lighter blue into the bottom of the thread that you're currently coming out of, back through the beads that you just added. From here, add my last beads, which are that gunmetal color, 3 of those into the opposite side where your thread is currently coming out of. Lay those 3 beads down, and then once again, so back out through the 3 beads that you just added. Now you can keep going if you want to again and keep going with that ladder stitch. But instead, I'm going to bring the camera in and I'm going to show you how we're doing those arches for this motif. Coming out the outer row, so I have 5 rows of ladder stitch. I'm going to add a total of 15. Count them in groups of 5. 1, 2, 15. I'm going to go to the opposite side of the ladder stitch to the same color. The thread's currently coming out the top. I add those 15 beads and I go through the ladder stitch on the opposite side. Arch number 1. If you don't want to do arch number 2, you don't have to, and you can keep it in one direction. From here, I'm going to go in and do, there's 1 group of 5, 2 groups of 5, 3 groups of 5, back through on the opposite side, that ladder stitch that we established. There you have that outer row. From here, we're going backwards into the ladder stitch from the outer 5th row of ladder to the 4th and go through. Coming out there, we're going to change the number from 15 to 10. So I'm picking up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then another group of 5, and I know these beads are light. They're a lot lighter than I thought on camera. Going up then to the same side, so you're coming out the bottom, you're going into the bottom and up towards the top. After that 10, that creates a nice interior arch. Once again, 3, 4, 5. I like to count in groups of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then once again, down through the opposite side of that ladder stitch. Now, if you want to keep it open and you want to keep those with open loops, totally do so. If you want to close them in, you're going into the silver. And there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can do 1 bead. I'm going to do 3 beads. If you have 15 O's, you can certainly use 3 15 O's. I'm doing 3 beads coming out of the top of the silver. After adding the 3 beads, going down through the silver again. Making those beads kind of sit in that little picot trim. It's a little pyramid of 3. Adding 1, 2, 3 more 11 O's. Back up to that starter row there, or that middle row, I should say. And now I need to work my way out to do my next motif. So to work my way out, I'm going down through the 3 beads along the ladder stitch in the lighter blue, up through the 3 beads here along the side. And now I'm ready to add to that motif. From here, I'm going to use a silver 2mm and a silver. I'm going to drop down to the bottom of that bead, doing another ladder row. Come out through those 3 beads, and then guess what? Start again. That's all it is. Back to 1, 2, and 3 of my beads, going into the opposite side, coming back through, and then doing my ladder stitch. Rinse and repeat, and you will have it grow and grow and grow as you're working on it. Whether or not you change the colors into the silver and gold or darker or lighter and play on colors or use 15s in the middle, this is one of the most simple techniques and designs that, because of the way that it's connected, can be a necklace, can be a bracelet. Here's how I'm going to turn these actually on the side and wear them as earrings hanging down or doing less loops going through. It's kind of the perfect little denim match there. I'm going to keep going and adding more onto the motifs, and then I'm going to show you how I attach the clasp. Once you have the motif bracelet created and finished, it's time to add the clasp. If you want to do a pair of earrings, I would recommend coming out the top here, adding a wire guard and going back down if you want them to hang this way. Coming out this way, instead of adding the clasp, you would just add your wire guard and continue to have them kind of cascade that way if you want. For a bracelet, I've already added one side of the clasp so you can see kind of how to do it and how you would frame it. I'm picking this beautiful Claspgarten clasp, and I'm coming out of the very end of the bracelet. Getting ready to start the design. It doesn't really matter where you start or stop this design. I'm making sure that the clasp is still hooked, because that way I make sure that I put it in correctly and that it's going to close and not have the bracelet kind of flip in the middle. So I have it closed and in there. I'm coming out of the last row of my ladder stitch. I'm going to go up through one of the loops. You can use wire guards if you want also. Come back down through that last ladder stitch, or first if you're back at the start. Go again, up through, back through, up through, back through, up through, back through, back through. You want to do it a total of 3 times. Then all you're going to do is go back into the project, weave your needle and thread back through the design, and simply tie off somewhere along the project, and that gets this beautiful motif bracelet. The nice thing with the motif is you can really change this up. You can make the ladder stitch wider, you can make the loops bigger, you can make it more rounded than oval by doing more sections of ladder stitch and really make it your own. Can't wait to see all of the examples of this in our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making, because it's a great project just using seed beads that can have so many different variations, and I hope really springs your imagination. Thanks so much for joining me to create this fun motif bracelet. I really am excited to see everybody's different versions, because I have so many in my head that I can't do them all. So I want to challenge you all to make and post in our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. If you like the video, don't forget to give a little thumbs up and comment below. That helps us and grow this amazing beading community. As always, if you haven't yet, hit that little subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us, and stay tuned for more inspirational designs.